I have a problem with conflict. I feel like listening to podcasts and listening to sermons about conflict is great, but I feel like the second that you're in conflict, it just all goes out the window. Like the second that like a certain emotion comes into play, or like a certain feeling comes into play, all of these beautiful words that we're speaking just goes out the window. Is there like practical ways, maybe you have some, Chris or Abuna, that you think we can like nip it at the bud before it kind of turns into what it turns into?
So a practical thing is to pray that God gives me wisdom and gives me patience. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask, and the Lord will give him liberally without reproach. I'm not sure the exact wording, but prayer is a practical intervention. That's very important to remember. If you think of a professional athlete, okay, like say the World Cup final, someone's taking a penalty to win the World Cup. Okay, and the eyes of the world are on them, and they've trained, but then like, do they just get overwhelmed by the emotion and the heat of the moment, and all their training goes out the window? Some of them do, but the top level, they're machines. Okay, and so it happens by practice. It's second nature. Okay, someone sent me this funny YouTube video of Steph Curry bouncing a basketball, and the guy's bouncing a basketball, and then like he's doing his dribbles through his legs and whatever, and then he stuffs it up. And guess what he does? The guy's so confident in his ability, he goes back and and he gets the basketball, and he starts to kind of at the same height drop it on a few different locations, and he finds in the ground a little dead spot where it bounces slightly less than all of the other spots, an inconsistency in the ground. The guy's so good at what he does that when he stuffed up, it was the ground's fault.
That's crazy.
Look, even at Bankstown Hospital a little while ago, there was a number of babies that were dying unexpectedly. They would be delivered, the doctors would do their thing, and give them oxygen, whatever, and then the babies were having bad outcomes. And everyone was like, oh my goodness, what's happening at this hospital? But the problem was the contractor who had delivered the oxygen that goes into the wall had switched it with a different gas. So what I want to know is, who's this doctor who's like, I am so confident in my ability that I question what's coming out of the wall.
Wow.
That's not in the list of differential diagnoses to think about. Right?
That's crazy.
So what I'm trying to say is that in high pressure situations, human beings are capable of performing optimally. So if that can happen in these kind of fields, why can't it happen in conflict? Add to that the grace of God, add to that like the power of the sacraments, then of course we can do it.